Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, you as well.
Thank you for joining. I appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you guys even want to interview me. That's awesome.
Yeah, of course. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name's Desiree Mitchell, and I run an outreach program in Lawrenceville, Georgia, called Hope Dealer Outreach. And I'm already gonna cry. A few years ago, my son started on a fentanyl journey. That's what I call it. And I didn't know where to turn either way. I didn't know what to do. I did everything wrong. It was horrible. It was heartbreaking. And I started going to meetings, which helped a lot. I started going to open meetings, open NA meetings. So I learned a lot. I started educating myself on drug addiction. And that's when it's kind of turned. The turning point came. I started treating my son differently. I started not enabling him, but still having compassion and still loving him. And God, sorry,
Okay.
that was a horrible time. But anyway, whew, when I figured out that I needed to turn my pain into purpose, that's when things got better. And I thought, if I can't help my son, I can help other people. So the first thing I did was I started volunteering on a hotline called Never Use Alone. And what we do is we talk to people who are using drugs by themselves. And that's when you die, when you're alone using drugs. And so we talk to them on the phone while they're using, and we sit on the phone with them until they're past the point of overdose. And man, that started a whole thing because I got in with that community, the people who are operators. 90% of them have either been in drug addiction and they're clean now, or they're in it now still, and they're still being able to be operators, or they're people like me who've had loved ones in there and just really care. So I started talking to those people, and I found out that these were just people like you and me. This is your dentist in the parking lot in at his lunch hour calling us so he doesn't, die in his car if he's using. It's, clergymen, college students, like everybody. And I got such different perspectives about using. So that was amazing. And I met so many people on the hotline who are actually operators. And I learned so much from them because most of them were my son at some point. And, they would help me to deal with what he was doing. So I decided to make my own outreach program. And so I give out Narcan, fentanyl test strips, education. I have my own hotline now but my hotline is a resource line. So people can call me if they need resources. Sometimes moms call me and they just want to talk. They just want to vent. Sometimes kids call me. It's crazy. I started a blog. I started a school classroom, SKOOL, the app, the school app. I started a school classroom. I go out into the homeless communities like the encampment,
Oh,
and I
wow.
give I give them hygiene products and food, and I also give them harm reduction supplies because, at one point my son was out there homeless and he didn't have anybody doing that. So I guess that's in a nutshell what I do.
Yeah.
A
I
few
mean that
things.
yeah. No, I mean you definitely do a lot. How is your son now?
He is good. He'll be coming off December will be a year clean from fentanyl.
That's
He
great.
still struggles, of course, because
Yeah.
no one gets on drugs just because it's a Tuesday.
Right.
There's always something mentally going on, depression, bipolar, anxiety, eh, sexual abuse, whatever it is. There's always something that was going on to make him do that. So he still struggles with that, but he has been clean from fentanyl. I can sleep at night knowing that he's alive. The other stuff we can take care of.
Right.
But so
The most
many,
important.
right? So many of my friends and his friends weren't that lucky. I
Right.
partnered up with a friend of mine who my son is Jordan. He used to play football with Quay, and Quay died April 1st of nitazene, fentanyl and nitazene poisoning. And my son said to me at one point, that's when he stopped thinking of suicide himself because he thought of Quay.
Yeah.
So and so myself and Quay's mom have partnered up. She has her own foundation as well. And we go to events and we put on programs, all kind of stuff to help other people. I wanted to be the person that I didn't have, you
Yeah.
know, and I want to be that for other people. And
Right.
I'm actually on the opioid task force now in my county, and we are working to get the 7 hydroxy out of the gas stations, the
Mm.
kratom
Yeah.
derivative. My son got on that at one point too, and he had to go to rehab for it. And it's so funny. I'm interviewing a lady this afternoon whose son died of that. I'm interviewing her for my blog. So that's becoming a really big major thing. So that's my next soapbox I'm going to get on and try
Yeah.
to get that to gas stations as if I
Yeah.
needed something else to do.
Yeah.
So, girl, I talk about it wherever I go and I spread awareness
Yeah.
wherever I go. It could literally be in the grocery store. And don't come up to me talking because we're going to talk about it. Yeah.
They don't know any better. They aren't educated on the topic. So what you don't know, you don't know. When did you start all of your outreach and things like
I
that?
just started it March of this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You've done a lot for just starting it.
I did. And I've been doing speaking engagements. I went to Chicago and spoke at a national convention.
Wow.
And it was just literally me cold emailing them and saying, hey, I have something to say. At first, they told me, no, we have all our speakers. But then someone called me from there and we were on the phone, and literally 5 minutes, she was like, we'll make a spot for you. We want you in Chicago. And I did it. And I've done town hall meetings. Anywhere somebody will let me speak, I will go. I
Yeah, of
will pay for it myself and I will go because I think it's so important.
course. It is. And it's good that you have that courage. I appreciate people like that. So I know it's been a little bit of a shorter
Mhm.
time span, but I want to know a little bit about, feel like you faced any major challenges on the road? Like, what was that?
My biggest challenges are money, finances, because most of this comes off of me.
Yeah,
Um, but I do have people that donate things. Things for me to donate are like items, hygiene products. People can go to the Dollar Tree and literally spend $20 and I'll have a ton of stuff.
right.
But in this economy, it's hard to ask.
Yeah,
But a
it
lot of people want to
is.
help out. So people have given me amazing item donations, food, things like that, because they do love that I go out and do that and they don't have to go out and do it.
Right, exactly.
Nobody wants to go to an encampment, but I don't
Yeah,
mind. So that's a challenge. And I'm also, so my outreach is not a nonprofit, it's an LLC because it was cheaper for me. But I do have a nonprofit now. It's called Hands of Hope, HOPE, and it's healing, outreach, prevention, and education. So that'll be the nonprofit part, and I do have that with the state, but with the government, you got to pay extra and all that. So I'm
yeah,
still trying to raise funds for that. So that's a huge thing, but I'll get it because I know I'm walking in my purpose and I know it'll happen. The other thing is stigma around harm reduction. That's a really big hindrance for me because I learned about harm reduction when I was on that hotline. And I learned that we're not enabling these people to do drugs. If we sit on the phone with them while we do it, if we give somebody a clean needle, I'm not enabling them. What I'm doing is helping them to live one more day and helping them be safe. And maybe tomorrow they'll make a better choice. Or maybe tomorrow, somebody's son doesn't die. Giving somebody a clean needle or a clean pipe or condoms, all the harm reduction things is really not enabling them. It's just saying you're worth living. Your
right.
life means something, and I don't want you to die today. So that's been a big struggle because some people don't see it that way.
Of
And that's
course.
okay. I don't judge anybody. So I have to get past that. But I talk about that a lot, and unless that's your child out there, shooting the dope up their veins with a dirty needle, people usually don't care. But that is someone's child, someone's mother, you know, and everybody deserves to live. Everybody deserves a chance.
It's a struggle for sure.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? When you're passionate about it, you just keep it moving.
Of course. Yeah.
And
Um,
I don't, people can have their own opinions. It's okay. Yep. And I don't judge them. And I'm still gonna go save lives.
right. It's important. I wanted to talk a little bit about just motherhood, you, and what that was like going through having a child in addiction, if you're comfortable speaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Probably the worst thing I've ever had to deal with because you feel guilt. You feel like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done different? You never want to see your son out there, your child out there struggling, begging for money on the street, living on the street. That killed me for a long time. And I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do. You can't talk to other people about it because nobody else's kids doing that. When really, in reality, now that I do talk about it, everybody I speak to has somebody they know in addiction or has been in addiction, be it a child, a mother, father, cousin, whatever. Everybody knows somebody. So it's so important to talk about it. But back then, no, I didn't know. And until I started going to meetings and being around people who were in the same boat as me, that's when a switch turned for me. And in these meetings were also people who were in addiction and also who have been in addiction that were like in rehab and stuff. And
Yeah.
I heard their stories and I saw them, and gosh, they did worse things than my son did. I was 10 years, I did heroin, and I did this and I did that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and look at you now, you're amazing. So that gave me hope. That and my whole everything I do is built around hope. That's what that did for me. And I still go to those meetings because I want to give somebody else some hope. I want them to see the struggles I went through and know that they can too.
So you do a lot. The fact that you have the mental energy for all of those things is awesome.
I think
Um,
I do that because at first I did so much because it helped me not focus on Jordan and his problems and my guilt and whatever it is that I did wrong as a mother. I think doing so much made me not think about it. It's a coping mechanism.
I want to know a little bit about how you're able to balance
Oof.
still helping other people, but of course Jordan and your own pain, all of those things. How do they cope with it?
Whew. Well, now that Jordan's better, he helps me a lot. He'll help me because, I have a room full of harm reduction supplies and he keeps it
Yeah.
all together for me. He'll go to events with me and, hand out my things. And he won't speak yet. He won't tell people his story. And like, I'll get up on a podium and speak all day. He's like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
But he will come with me. And I believe he's proud of me. And that helps a lot. Now, I do have a quote unquote real job. I do have a real job too. Unfortunately, that I don't do this all day, which I'd love. And then
Yeah.
I help my husband with his business too. But I think I don't think about it. That's how I do it. I don't think, oh God, today my blog has to drop and then I got to do this and this and this. I just take things day by day, minute by minute. Because if I looked at the list of all the things I do, I would drive myself crazy.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And you know what? I have 5 children. So it's really not hard for me. I compartmentalize each little thing and I know my blog drops every Tuesday at 10:08 a.m. So I know that before Tuesday at 10:08, I better have my blog in. My school classroom, I do it once a week. It's just I have a calendar and I stick to it, and that's pretty much it. Now, my hotline, it can ring anytime, but I'm pretty new, so it's not daily, it's not all the time, and then my volunteer activities, I can schedule them. So it's just a matter of time management, and I've become the queen of time management. Yeah,
No,
that's what I do, just
yeah.
manage my time. There's only 24 hours in a day, but somehow I get it done. And I
Right.
think when you walk in your purpose, it just happens. You know, this is what, I am very religious and spiritual, and I believe that this is what God wants me to do. I believe this is why Jordan went through his journey, because if he didn't, I would never be here.
Right.
I didn't know about addiction like that, you
Yeah.
know? And so, and I believe that's why he saved my son. And I told Jordan, I believe that's his purpose too. Maybe he saved you, because he always says, well, why did he save me? Because my son definitely has suicidal ideations. He said, why did he save me then? And I said, so you can save somebody else. So I totally believe that. A lot of self-care too. I forgot about that. I make
Yes.
time for
Yeah.
self-care. I absolutely do.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
No, it's important. It can get to be a lot when your life is centered around giving your energy to other people.
I kind of believe it helps me more than it helps them in a way.
Yeah.
I know they appreciate it and they love it, and it's like I know the people at the encampments now. They know me now,
Yeah.
but it really helps me so much more, if that makes sense.
No, I think I'm the same way as well.
I want to at some point get my own sober living home.
But that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it'll be a different model than the normal ones, because my son's been in a lot of them and most of them have been a money grab,
Of
you know.
course.
But mine, I want to focus on the mind, the body, the soul, everything. Like, we will have meditation, we'll have yoga if they want it. I'll have a Zen garden, maybe some horses. Um, the traditional stuff too, but I want to teach them entrepreneurial skills. It just make it on a whole other level than what they're
Right.
used to. And a
Right.
nice place. I won't put four men to a room with you with one bathroom. I just think that, there's no dignity in that.
Of course.
I want to be really nice and then have them have some dignity, have them want to be there, you know,
Right.
and want to make it a good place. So that's my end goal.
Yeah, it's needed.
I already have the name. It's going to be called Phoenix Rising Healing Center. It's not even going to be called a sober
Oh,
living home. It's going to
wow.
be called a healing center.
That's a nice name.
Phoenix Rising. Yep, girl, I got it all together except the funds and the building.
Yeah,
Other than that, we're I got it
we'll
all
get
together.
there. We'll get to that part.
Yeah.
No, I love that idea, and I think it's so necessary.
How do you put grown men like four to a room and have them share one bathroom or something like that? And I
Yeah,
could see in the house have them share a house, but that's there's just no dignity.
yeah,
So then they get depressed and then they want to go use again.
of
You know?
course. And that's unfortunately that's the cycle after they leave treatment. I think a lot of the times it's kind of just you're on your own,
Yeah.
do what you can. So
Go to a meeting here and there if you want to. That's about it.
right, right. And that's how a lot of people relapse because there's no they're like, okay, well, what do I do now? So then they go out, they use, and they just start it all over again and hope for something better next time.
That is so true. And in fact, in Chicago, I met a man, and this has happened to my son too. When if you relapse in sober living, they will kick you out, your clothes in a trash bag, and you're just on the street. And this happened to a gentleman that I met in Chicago, and his son went to a Burger King bathroom and he overdosed and died. And I wrote a blog about it, Justice for Jack. And this man runs a multi-million-dollar nonprofit, but he
Mm-hmm.
had no voice for his son. He just couldn't. So
Right.
I decided to be the voice for his son. And my son went through it too, but he lived past it. But they will just throw you out. And relapse is part of addiction. That's what they do. This boy relapsed on marijuana. He had marijuana in his system. I understand, make them punish them, but to throw him out like that, he died. And how many other people died because of that? So made that another one of my things. Change the rules for sober living homes. But
Yeah,
all they care about is the money and they don't want to treat them. So people in my sober living home, they'll get punished or whatever it is, sanctions. I'm not sure yet, but I will never put somebody on the street to die.
of course. Even if a relapse is involved, I think assisting them in getting to where they need to go,
There you
not
go.
just saying, here's your stuff,
Here's your
figure it
clothes.
out.
Yeah.
Right. And
And
I
that's what
think,
they do.
yeah, a lot of these people who this is happening to, they want the help. But when it's not offered, it's disappointing, it's disheartening. They don't see an end to this for them.
Yeah.
So it's
So why not go use more?
exactly. So then
Nobody
they
loves me. Nobody cares about,
right.
and it's easier. And I've heard that from my son, even when he was when he was just off of the drugs for just a couple months.
Yeah.
He's like, it's easier to be in rehab. I want to go back to rehab. It's easier. So life is hard, you
Yeah.
know.
No, it
So
is. And sometimes listen, I've definitely heard that too, and I've seen that sometimes rehab is the easier option.
it's kind of like using a cane to walk. You get used
Right.
to the cane, and then it's just so
Exactly.
much easier. You don't your muscles get an atrophy, and that's where my son is now. He'd
Yeah.
rather stay in rehab. He's like,
Yeah.
life is just it's hard, but it is, and it's okay. You'll get through it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to have that, halfway. I guess they call it halfway house.
Right.
For
Yeah.
sober living. It's so important to do that after rehab and to get a
Yeah.
good. And I think that's where the link is broken. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah. It was definitely it was a harder part of working at that point of their recovery is because some people don't want it. They think, oh, I'll be fine, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. Like, no, you won't. And
Yeah,
then they're
yeah.
back again. So that's the hard part. And sometimes it just takes going through it. They've got to go through it and then they will learn and they'll do different next time. So
Well, also the insurance companies, I believe, are to blame too, because
yes,
30
yes.
days, 28 days, or whatever, it's not enough. But then the rehabs have to kick them out because they're not getting paid.
Right.
And, it's just a whole vicious cycle. There's so
Yeah.
many parts to that puzzle.
There is. I mean, I could go on about it for days.
Oh, I bet. I bet you see it
So,
firsthand.
yeah, I could go on about that stuff for days. And although I do think that there are parts that I've seen that are really good about the rehab process. And I mean, the treatment centers that I've worked in have been awesome, but I do think that there's things outside of them that are the problem.
It
So,
is. It is.
yeah,
Yeah. My son's been in some great ones too. It's just after that. And they want them to stay longer probably most of the time, but most
right,
people have
right.
30 grand a month, to stay there.
Yeah.
I know I
So,
didn't. I know I
yeah.
did. I struggled to put my son somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I mean, I did want to talk about different perspectives that you've had throughout this journey. I know that you said Jordan has been a year clean, which is
Almost.
awesome.
Hmm.
When you look at your life now compared to Jordan's active addiction,
Hmm.
what are some things that you maybe didn't notice before that you're more grateful for now?
Oh, I am like eating, his eating. Like he
Yeah,
puts up a storm now. I love to see that. And before I wouldn't even notice it. But I
yeah.
love that he just eats and eats and eats and eats and eats. He has a daughter that he had an addiction, and the his girlfriend at the time, she did fentanyl the whole time, but she came out so perfect. She's such a perfect angel. So my daughter is her foster mom. It's because she had to go through foster care. So my oldest daughter is her foster mom,
Mhm.
and she just got guardianship over her, so that's good. So she's still in the
Oh,
family, thank God. And so he's connecting with her now. And
oh,
yes, and she's 2, and she's amazing, and she's perfect, thank God. So that came out of it. But things that I'm just so grateful that he's here.
yeah,
And you're always grateful for your kids and everything, but when they're on the brink of death, you don't notice it as much. So like I thank God for my kids every day, every day before I wake up. I thank God for waking up my children. And had he not ever been in addiction, it's just like normal. It's just like you notice the trees out there. It's no big deal.
yeah,
But
yeah.
when you're deprived of them, you think they're beautiful. So I was almost deprived of my son, so I appreciate them even more. Yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing.
I do want to talk a little bit about just your definition of hope. I know you talked about a lot. You said Hope Dealer outreach was, yes.
Hmm.
So I want to talk about your definition of hope and how do you think that that's changed through from maybe before you started to
Hmm.
now? How do you think that your definition of what hope means has changed?
I I think I believe in it even more now than I did before. I never really thought about it too much. Hope is just, I hope something happens tomorrow. But I
Yeah.
believe in it more now. I know that if you have hope, all is not lost.
Yeah.
Anybody can come up through anything. I mean, the people that I've met in these meetings, I'm like, how are you alive? But they had a little bit of hope, even in their darkest, deepest moments when they know they should have died too. There was something there. And if there's just a little bit of hope, I've learned this. If there's just a little bit, then you can make it.
Right.
And so that's what I noticed, that I think I believe in it even more. And I tell my son all the time, so many people prayed for you that you don't even know. You don't even know these people. They pray for you. He's on somebody's prayer list in a church in New York State.
Yeah.
He doesn't know these people.
Yeah.
They've never met him in their life, but he's on their list every week because they know me.
Right.
Hope is huge. Hope is absolutely huge. When you lose hope, you don't have anything left. I'm gonna be the hope dealer.
No, I love that name too. I see the on
Oh,
your
the logo.
shirt. Yeah. So just to, I guess, closing, what is one thing you want people to take from your story?
Oof,
If you
gosh,
can
there's so
choose one thing,
I can
you can
choose
choose
one.
multiple things.
I'll keep it simple. For one, everybody's life matters. Everybody's life matters. And no matter how far down they are, no matter who they are, what they've done, you can come back from it and your life matters. If people see me and they feel that, my work is done,
Right.
because there'll be no more people killing themselves or wanting to drown their sorrows in drugs. If they know that somebody cares about them, and I think the best way to do that also is not to push anyone. Like on the hotline, we don't say, hey, you're doing fentanyl 50 times a day. Maybe you should go to this rehab. We don't do that. When they're ready, we have resources, but we want them to know we will meet you right where you are and we love you. That's what I want people to know, that I'll just love them until, they decide to make another decision, and then I'll help them. But right now, where you are, what you're doing, I still love you.
Your journey has shaped you into be somebody who can give all of that love. And I think that there's from your story, I think there's no better person to do it than you.
Thank you.
So
I
I
see
think,
my son in every addicted
yeah,
person. And
yeah,
so I truly, I love them. I
yeah,
do.
yeah. And it's not easy to continue to love and love and love. And
Mm-mm.
it shows the kind of person you are that you are able to do that. So,
Thank you so much.
of course, of course. Is there anything last that you want to add?
No, I appreciate you guys interviewing me so much.
Of course.
You guys can follow me on Instagram, hope_dealer_outreach. And my blog is called Healing Starts Here on Substack. And everything's free. My school community is free. I don't charge anybody anything because I just want to get the word out. And my hotline 1-855-HOPE-TRX, the prescription for hope. And they can call me for resources or anything, and all that's free too. Everything is free. And
Right.
that's it.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on and talking with me. I appreciate it. And I appreciate sharing your story as well. And it was awesome to hear. And like I said, I continue to get new people on here. And I think that the last person's story blew me away. And I see the next person and I'm like, I don't know how I can continue to be getting blown away. You guys are all
Oh,
awesome.
you're so lucky that you get to do that. I love
No,
that.
I
And
am.
thank you so much. It was so nice
Yeah.
meeting you.
Of course, you too, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Oh, well, hey, you got my number.
Yeah.